was young when I got pregnant. After I had my third child, their father was murdered.
But I can just order more, and there's nothing she can really do to stop me from doing that.
Taking care of my mom is exhausting. I don't want this to get any worse.
I'm Dr. Nazarda.
I'm Shauna.
Nice to meet you, Shauna.
Cricket.
And you're?
Mom.
Mom, okay.
My weight is taking a toll on my heart, my kidneys, my liver, my legs, everything.
I'm gonna approve you for weight loss surgery. Thanks. Since you did the hard work, okay?
So things aren't going so well, but I have no choice. I have to keep pushing forward.
Number 10, Tammy Patton. At the beginning of her My 600 Pound Life episode, which premiered on March 17th, Tammy Patton of Wichita Falls, Texas, was 41 years old and hovering around 600 pounds. Every day, she woke up desperate for change because of being the size she was. Carrying around this much weight, her body was in constant pain because of the strain she was putting on it, and every day it got worse because every day something new was hurting. She was effectively trapped in this body, which was hell-bent on teaching her a lesson. Her body had become so damaged that she'd become dependent on her family to take care of her.
I was young when I got pregnant. After I had my third child, their father was murdered.
Since you lost 40 pounds, I'm gonna approve you for weight loss surgery.
Doing the sitting exercises for my upper body every day. Me and my mom have worked to adapt my eating habits to be in line with his diet.
I think when you become accustomed to eating so much, you don't know how to stop.
Her two daughters, Elise, 19, and Serenity, 21, lived with Tammy in order to help take care of her. This was all while Tammy's mother had also recently moved in to help her out. Tammy's addiction to food was making things worse for her, but she couldn't overcome it. She couldn't resist the siren call of food each time life became too real. She couldn't stop going to it for the comfort she needed and the happiness it brought her. She was actually using the comfort of food to hide the problems in her life, so she ate constantly. So how did things get so bad for her? Tammy explained that her food issues started when she was 9 years old. At that point, her family started having financial problems because of her father's addiction to drugs. Her father's own obsession was the only thing real in his life. Consequently, Tammy and her mom ended up moving from California to Texas to live with her grandfather, who helped them start over. Tammy didn't know anyone since all of her family was back in California.
It became a pattern for me. If she wanted it, I would get it.
After I eat, I'll snack. I snack all day.
So basically, I'm still not saying no.
Food is my only escape from the misery I have.
I always tried to give them what they wanted when I could.
She didn't have any friends, so food became her friend. It was the easiest way of dealing with the loneliness in her life. Things went on like this, and soon she weighed 150 pounds by the time she was 10. This climbed to over 300 pounds by the time she graduated from high school. As a young adult, Tammy had 3 children with her boyfriend Victor. Tragically, Victor was slain when their youngest was only 1 year old. And although he and Tammy weren't a couple at the time, the news completely devastated her. So once again, she turned to food to deal with her loss. By the time she was in her 30s, she was over 500 pounds. And now that she was 40, she was crossing the 600 mark, and it was only a matter of time before she became immobile. But it wasn't that simple. She had grandkids now and wanted to play a very active role in both of their lives, but that could only happen if she was able to help herself. She wanted to play a positive role in her grandchildren's lives, but for that dream to come true, she needed to turn her life around for the better, for which she sought expert guidance and supervision. During her first visit with Dr. Yunnan Nazarian,
I love everything about it except how I know it's killing me. I don't want it to get to the point where it's unbearable. My dad had got addicted to drugs. My dad stayed in California, so it was just me, my brother, and my mom. To have to constantly feel like you're only bringing problems and struggles to your family.
So far, what you have done to lose weight?
Tammy weighed at 594 pounds. The bariatric surgeon gave her the goal of losing 60 pounds in 2 months, and Tammy hit the ground running with her weight loss journey. She seriously revamped her diet with the support of her family and dedicated herself to completing the exercises Dr. Now assigned her to do. During the week of her follow-up with Dr. Now, Tammy had only lost 19 pounds according to her at-home specialty scale. She called him and was honest about her progress, and he gave her another month to lose the weight. When Tammy returned, she weighed in at 550 pounds, making her total weight loss 44 pounds in 6 months. Dr. Now still needed her to lose another 40 pounds in the next 2 months in order to qualify for weight loss surgery. Per his instructions, Tammy met with psychologist Dr. Paradise, who encouraged her to go to her kids' father's grave in order to fully process his demise instead of always being strong for others and keeping the pain bottled up inside. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, Tammy was unable to follow up in person with Dr. Now 2 months later. Instead, she talked with him via a video call to let him know that although she hadn't lost any more weight,
the ability to get out of bed soon if I keep going like this.
And you have over 400 pounds to lose to get to that weight and a healthy BMI. So what brought you down here?
Weight loss.
All right, so if you want to lose weight, then from here on out, you need to make sure not to eat from habit.
So my mom's dad lived in Texas, and he told my mom he would help her.
she also hadn't gained any. Not ideal, but the alternative was worse. 1 year and 1 month into her journey, Tammy followed up in person with Dr. Now and weighed in at 552 pounds, meaning that although she technically gained 2 pounds, she essentially maintained her weight. Again, Dr. Now gave Tammy the goal of losing 40 pounds in 2 months. She doubled down on her efforts and weighed in at 496 pounds during her follow-up appointment, which meant a 57-pound weight loss. Her total weight loss, 98 pounds.
And it's just temporary. If you don't address the root issues, you need to change.
But when it comes to cleaning myself, I don't want my daughters to have to take
I can understand, but eating from habit, there is no excuse for that.
Serenity is 21, and then I have Alize also here with me. She's 19.
So that means you don't have much time. You need to change, and you need change now.
At that point, Dr. Now approved her for weight loss surgery. He was all praises for his patient's hard work, but the battle wasn't over just yet. By the end of her episode, which spanned 1 year and 5 months, Tammy weighed 468 pounds, meaning she'd lost 126 pounds in total. Number 9, Erica Wall. Erica Wall went on an extremely difficult weight loss journey on My 600 Pound Life, and she shared how much her life has changed since the show. She appeared on the show in 2017, weighing in at 661 pounds. At the start of My 600 Pound Life,
It's gonna be over 3.5 hours, and I know it's dangerous for someone my size to travel in the air. How did I get to this point where I'm like a sideshow to people? I know the risk I'm taking right now because the doctor told me it's not a good idea to travel without medical care.
Erica described her life as miserable because she couldn't walk anywhere and had no independence. Her niece was the only family member she saw consistently who enabled her food addiction by continuing to buy her junk food. The 44-year-old from California had a tough upbringing and had turned to food for comfort. She had plenty of reasons to find comfort since Erica had been through a lot over the past several years, from weight loss to relationship drama. Erica was the oldest of 3 kids, but she had a strained relationship with her brother and sister. Her siblings were frustrated that she wasn't initially putting in the effort to help herself get better, but that eventually changed on the show.
All right, so I think to make it easy for you, let's get some of this food out of the house.
But I can just order more, and there's nothing she can really do to stop me from doing that.
The show took a deep dive into Erica's emotional past, describing how she went from a happy child who enjoyed home-cooked meals to being called Godzilla by her father, who went so far as forcing her to get her stomach stapled when she was just a teenager.
But this is my only chance. I have no other options. I'm doing this so I have a chance to live. It feels like everyone is watching me, and this is so embarrassing. They already made me buy a whole aisle of 3 seats because of my size.
Hi, Erica and Susan. Nice to meet you. Hi.
Nice to meet you too.
doing?
Naturally, they didn't hold and she got the weight back. Her trauma increased when she was carnally maltreated by several of her boyfriend's friends at a young age. Erica's mother supported her throughout her life, but she tragically passed away after a car accident. Erica's rock bottom came from her inability to kiss her mom goodbye in the hospital because she was worried about pulling one of her tubes out. One of her motivations for losing weight on My 600-Pound Life was getting back together with Jimmy, her boyfriend, who wanted to help her get healthy. Eventually, her frustrations led her to contacting Dr. Now. At her first appointment, she weighed 661 pounds. Erica endured a rough journey, both in front of the cameras and behind the scenes. But she had help from Dr. Now, who teamed her up with nutritionist Susan Swatner to help her fight her food addiction and prepare her for surgery on a low-carb, high-protein diet.
Okay, so did the doctor give you a special diet to be on before your surgery? See what's in your kitchen and maybe see what foods that will work for you. So you said a lot of the food was taken out of your home already. The good thing about protein is it keeps your blood sugars at a high level.
Her previous stomach stapling made her bariatric surgery a nightmare for Dr. Now, who had to take extra steps to repair the past damage. Erica lost nearly 300 pounds in total, 190 pounds during filming before her bariatric surgery, and an additional 100 pounds after the cameras were gone. But it wasn't easy to drop nearly half of her body weight. Erica was committed to the journey, and though she had her setbacks, she lost over half of her body weight and appears to have kept it off to this day. Number 8. Shauna Collins. Shauna Collins appeared on the show in 2020 when she was seen struggling with her weight and body image. She was one of the show's youngest patients at 22 years old, making her appearance on season 8. At the time, she had been living with her mother in Kansas City, Missouri. Dropping to a healthy weight from 700 pounds would require working to unlearn lifelong habits and seeking help for her severe depression and anxiety. It was obvious that Shauna was dealing with a lot of mental turmoil from her childhood, stemming from maltreatment she had suffered at the hands of her father.
I didn't do my part like I should have by calling you and telling you that I lost it.
You didn't do that, but when coming down here and give me this sad story.
It's been almost a month since I went to see Dr. Now. I've asked Ericus to try and get me healthier meals, and I've been scared to tell my mom or call Dr. Now and ask him for another one. But I'm hoping with how Ericus is helping me, that I'm losing as much as Dr. Now told me.
For years, she'd coped with her anxiety and depression via emotional eating. She self-medicated due to her mother not being there for her. Her mom left her in the care of a caretaker year after year. This led to extreme weight gain, which she got bullied for throughout school.
I'm gonna be so scared.
Any way you look at it, you're gonna have to call him.
I know.
I'm Dr. Nzarda.
I'm Shauna.
Nice to meet you, Shauna.
Cricket.
And you're?
Mom.
Mom, okay. All right. Shauna, looks like you're at 6:59 today, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Have you tried to lose weight at any point in your life?
Yeah. Like I eat too much or I eat too little.
So, Shauna, you need to learn how you're going to correct your eating habit, right?
Yes, sir.
She dropped out of high school and her depression worsened. After spending time in mental hospitals and having a battle with drug addiction, Collins was desperate for change. She met with Dr. Now to go over her health and goals. He was aware of these struggles and told her that she should work on those issues in addition to weight loss. Though the two were unable to work together successfully on the show, Dr. Now said he would work with Collins if she could lose 50 pounds and show that she was ready for change. Even though Shauna was aware that she was addicted to food and needed help, she had a tough time accepting Dr. Now's assistance. After losing the diet and exercise plans, which are crucial guides to losing weight, she was too afraid to reveal her mistake and tried to make up a plan.
And I'm also trying to do walking for exercises to build up my stamina. So I'm hoping if I lose what Dr. Now told me to lose, and figure out moving to Texas.
How do you feel about moving to Texas?
I'm excited. But I wish I still had the papers he gave me.
So why haven't you called him and asked him, inform him on what happened?
Because I'm nervous and scared.
You could just tell him you forgot about him in a rental car.
And he's gonna be like, so it took you almost a whole month to realize that?
This led to a skipped appointment and misused time with no progress, though she was given another chance. After getting back on track, Collins was proud to see that she had lost more than 30 pounds. However, Dr. Now was concerned with her slow pace and ability to fully commit to the program. Even when Dr. Now gave her the tools to succeed, Shauna was unable to use them and found herself alone. She ate whatever she wanted and gained weight as a result of it. By the end of her episode, she said she was dedicated to her health, but still weighed more than she did when she started the program. Eventually, she gained the weight back and wound up being slightly heavier than her starting weight. Dr. Now let her go from the program, but she promised to keep trying to change her lifestyle. Number 7, Lisa Fleming. One of the most difficult patients to have appeared on the show, Lisa Fleming made her debut in season 6. Unfortunately, her weight loss success was short-lived. When Lisa made her My 600 Pound Life debut in February 2018, she weighed 700 pounds. It took 7 paramedics to move Lisa, who was bedridden in her home in Texas. The bed she was laying in was the same bed her late mother had slept in while she battled with obesity as well.
Taking care of my mom is exhausting. I don't want this to get any worse. But I wouldn't say I resent the things that I have to do for my mom because you only get one mom, so.
3. God help me.
But over the years, things happened. He cheated.
Lisa decided to turn her life around and gave My 600 Pound Life's Dr. Nazarian a chance at helping her achieve her health goals after she had found maggots in the folds of her skin. Lisa described this moment as a wake-up call and started her journey for a better life. As it turned out, she was able to partly achieve her dream of losing weight as she went on to lose 200 pounds. However, her goal of living a healthier life wasn't realized. Lisa always struggled with her weight as a child and was looking forward to completely overcoming her weight issue as an adult.
So tell me how you've been getting along at home. But you haven't been walking. How about your eating habit?
I could only buy limited stuff on groceries.
We cleared up Lisa's infection and got her weight going to the right direction. But she's only lost about 18 pounds. She should have lost at least 60 to 70 pounds.
Lisa's unhealthy relationship with food stemmed from her childhood. She found it difficult to cope with her parents' divorce and had a strained relationship with her mother. Her contentious relationship with her mother made the loss of her father even more acute. Her memories of being harshly treated by her mother stayed with her entire life and seemed to be impeding her recovery. When she came to Dr. Now, he became frustrated with her as she tried every tactic in the book to block his way of treating her. From facing a lack of cooperation from his patient to dealing with outright lies, Dr. Now reached the point of his patience with her. He referred her to a nutritionist.
She could see the writing on the wall and felt backed in the corner. But we take every threat like that very seriously.
He still don't get to talk to me any kind of way. I'm still a lady.
My whole family is coming over to the house to say goodbye.
I don't care if he was right or wrong. If he was right, he should have came correct.
Going so far as to send her on a house visit. She didn't get any cooperation from her either. Lisa went so far as to blame her partner for the food she kept in the house. She was referred to a counselor to unravel all the traumas of her upbringing. That's when viewers got to know how much Lisa had been impacted by the demise of her beloved brother, especially since her mother blamed her for the passing. Her life traumas had twisted her personality and clouded her thinking. Dr. Now didn't give up on his patient, and due to his determination, she was able to lose 200 pounds.
We just gotta finish showing up this ramp and we'll get you on the way to Houston in no time.
Hey, I'm ready. The paramedics have to reinforce the ramp they'll use to get me out of the house.
Unfortunately, Lisa wasn't able to achieve her weight loss goal as she lost her life a few months after seeking Dr. Nazarian's assistance. Number 6, Lupe Simano. Lupe Simano was one of the most successful cast members on the TLC show My 600 Pound Life. Viewers saw Lupe Simano for the first time in 2016 when she appeared on the show's 4th season. At that point, Loop had already spent the last 10 years of her life confined to a bed. She was completely dependent on her then husband of doing even the most basic tasks of her life.
Being this overweight, everything I do is hard and it's a struggle. I need a rag for my face. My weight is taking a toll on my heart, my kidneys, my liver, my legs, everything. Because of my weight, I am diabetic.
I've already got into a diabetic coma, and there was so much fat around my neck, it was suffocating me. So they had to do a tracheotomy just so I could breathe.
She weighed in at 642 pounds when she appeared on the show and was desperate to turn her life around after slipping into a diabetic coma early in her life. Loop's weight had soared to 500 pounds by the time she was a teenager, and she dived into a severe depression. By the time Loop was 39, she was unable to move from her bed for more than a decade and was dependent on her husband. Her husband, Gilbert Donovan, had become more like a caretaker for her than a husband, which really tested their relationship. The reality star's struggles with food addiction and weight gain started at an early age.
I'm gonna send you a picture, but I understand if you never want to talk to me again.
She said that she was praying to God that he would send somebody to her that would be there for her, would take care of her.
Loop's father abandoned her and her sister in a bathtub and never returned again. Loop stayed in the tub for hours waiting for her father to come back. When he didn't, she not only climbed out and took care of her young sister, but she also quietly turned to food as a coping mechanism to deal with this trauma. Loop sought the help of Dr. Nazarudin to overcome her struggles. The car ride to Houston to see the doctor put so much strain on Loop's heart that she had to be admitted to the hospital immediately when she arrived.
And then put the trach in because even with the ventilator, I still needed it. It's been 10 years since my coma and I haven't walked on my own since then. So now my bed is my restroom. They need to be taken care of 24/7 because I can't do anything for myself.
When I get stressed, I just have to find something I want to eat.
Doctor now discovered that her heart was failing and she could have died if the car ride had just been a few hours longer. Loop eventually recovered and was able to lose enough weight to qualify for surgery. Her childhood traumas might have made her weight loss difficult, but it was her difficult relationship with her husband which was the biggest impediment to her losing weight now. Not only was he uncooperative during her journey, he also pressured her to have relations with him shortly after her gastric bypass surgery, which ended up tearing her stitches and infecting her wound. Loop was forced to part ways with him when she found out he had been cheating on her.
Once I get to Dr. Now, I have to give up all this because I'm ready to fight for my life.
Being this overweight, everything I do is hard and it's a struggle.
Now I have to be completely taken care of. And the only person I have in my life to take care of me is Gilbert. We met 8 years ago in a chat room, and since then, he's taken care of me.
While Loop had been fighting for her life, her husband had been having multiple affairs with other women behind her back. After following an intense diet and exercise regime, Loop managed to lose an incredible 28.5 stones and was down to just 15.7 stones in 2019. Number 5, Frederick Barnes. In 2021, fans met Frederick in Season 9, Episode 2. At the time, Frederick from Florida weighed 740 pounds and was totally dependent on his mother for survival. Right from the start, he received tons of positive feedback from viewers. They saw the potential in him despite the lack of willingness to change his lifestyle for the sake of his health.
All right, Frederick, you're doing better, and you lost 77 pounds. I'm going to approve you for weight loss surgery. Thanks. Since you did the hard work, okay? I'm going to do some testing on you to make sure that you're going to tolerate weight loss surgery without any complications.
Deidre hear this music coming around the block. Deidre gets up. Do the ice cream man open up an account for somebody to get something off the truck.
I've got work to do with him before I feel confident he's going in the right direction for the long term.
Due to his size, Frederick struggled with everyday life and also developed many health issues, including lymphedema, which surfaced in his lower body. From simple tasks to more complex movements, his mobility was severely limited. Frederick's dependency on his mother for survival demonstrated the gravity of the situation and the urgent need for intervention to help him reclaim his health and independence. Like many people who have been featured on the show, Frederick found extreme comfort in food. His weight had gotten to a point where he could barely leave his house. The only time he ventured outside was to walk to the ice cream truck. His weight became a life or death situation, which is what caused him to seek the help of Dr. Nazaruddin. Following a sudden hospitalization that made Frederick fear for his life.
But if not, then I'm gonna be shocked because I know I gave this my best. So I really hope I did it because there's really nowhere else to go from here. Because I did something that was really hard and real big for me.
He sought the help of the renowned bariatric surgeon. After getting a strict diet from Dr. Now, Frederick initially struggled to adhere to every instruction. He also had to work with a nutritionist to identify foods that hurt his health. After a while, Frederick started losing weight, dropping to 615 pounds, and Dr. Now finally approved his bariatric surgery. Sadly, after checking for any health complications before surgery, doctors learned that Frederick had a weak heart. Due to the diagnosis, doctors advised him to lose more weight before getting the surgery. After losing enough weight to be approved for weight loss surgery, Frederick was able to undergo the procedure.
I would say when the ice cream man pulls up, it's the best part of my day. I'm hoping for good news, because I did work hard this past month. And so now, what I hope is that when I get on that scale, I see that I'm at my goal. I ate better than ever and did my exercises 2 times a day.
Due to his weight loss goals, Frederick had to relocate to Houston, as that would make working with Dr. Now a lot easier. However, after his surgery was moved back to Tallahassee, he continued working with his body makeover goals. Throughout his weight loss journey, Frederick was supported by his family, including his brother and sister. However, his mother made the most effort to support his weight loss aims, including initially driving him from Florida to Houston to work with Dr. Now. Thankfully, Frederick got good results and came home a new person. Number 4, Marla McCants. Marla McCants from Nashville, Tennessee, weighed a life-threatening 800 pounds when she first appeared on the show. She came to have one of the most inspirational weight loss journeys on the show. Marla sought the help of Dr. Now in order to prepare herself for weight loss surgery. She managed to drop enough weight to be approved for surgery and then had a successful operation and recovery with the help of her daughter Sierra.
It's been about 9 months since I had my weight loss surgery. I'm losing weight, but I'm still not able to get up and move around. These last 2 months, it's been hell, Sierra. A couple of months ago, I was kind of depressed because things weren't going as I thought they would go. But next big goal I have is to get up and walk. And I know getting some of this loose skin removed would help out.
After years of emotional eating, Marla had become bedridden and needed her children's help with everyday tasks. Her daughter Sierra had even moved in with her and traveled with her to Houston in order to help her mother. Sierra was shown throughout Marla's episode as a supportive daughter who wanted the best for her mother, but she was having a tough time being patient with Marla after the surgery. Although she tried to lose weight on her own in the past, Marla found herself unsuccessful after giving all of her energy to her family. Her life was on the line, and the My 600-Pound Life star decided to seek Dr. Now's help. She wanted to finally be able to conquer her most difficult problem. Prior to weight loss surgery, Marla had been bedridden and was unable to perform basic tasks. Therefore, learning how to function as an able-bodied person again was really tough for the mother of 3.
Shopping for her is not what she needs to be eating, what she should be eating. I bring her stuff because I know that's what's gonna make her happy. She don't lose the weight. I'm afraid this she'll pass.
After years of emotional eating and hard experiences that left her with very little motivation to succeed, Marla made a drastic change. After her bariatric surgery, Marla lost a significant amount of weight. At first, she was still bedridden and struggling to move, relying on Sierra to help her out with everything. Sierra became frustrated with her mother, believing that she was more capable than she thought. Sierra was hard on her mother, but eventually, the tough love worked on Marla, and she was able to finally get out of bed, pushing forward to ultimately lose 560 pounds, bringing her down to around 225 pounds. However tough, Sierra's care was necessary for Marla to live due to her inability to stand up or be mobile in any way. It was Sierra who pushed her to finally get out of her bed. Though her mother was uncertain, Sierra took care of her around the clock to make sure that she was supported and able to stand before asking her to do so. It was clear that Sierra missed her freedom while caring for her mother.
If she doesn't stand up now, she'll be in this bed until she dies. All right.
Okay.
Good job, Marla.
Yeah.
But if you show them they can, they will usually start doing it on their own. You just have to get them to try once and show them that they are able.
After Marla's weight loss, Sierra was able to pursue a whole new life outside of her role as a caregiver. For caregivers like Sierra, watching her mother succeed has likely been an incredible reward after a lot of hard work. And this hard work was well worth the effort. With the help of Sierra and medical professionals, Marla was able to stand up for the first time post-surgery. From there, she began to progress quickly. Marla shed weight fast by following her diet and exercising. Though her episode of My 600 Pound Life finished filming, Marla continued to make progress all on her own. Number 3. Travis Henry. Season 8, Episode 6 of My 600 Pound Life brought us 31-year-old Travis Henry's story. The Texas native and aspiring musician's 617-pound weight had severely limited his life. Like others on the series, Henry's habit stemmed from a troubled past. Travis Henry began overindulging in food as a child following the breakup of his parents' marriage, which led to less supervision overall.
And once it starts, it's very hard for me to stop, so I eat all day long. That first meal is always the best because I love breakfast. And I can't wait for Yasmin to bring me my first serving so I can get to it.
When I make his plate, the whole plate is covered. And I don't think that's good. I don't think it's healthy.
Once I start eating, it's like this wave of happiness comes over me. It takes the pain and fear of what's going to happen to me away. It's hard for me to believe and accept how my life is now because of my weight.
The young man understandably developed severe abandonment issues, which were compounded by a former fiancé dumping him just a month into their engagement. Travis consistently turned to food for happiness and support. Things began looking up for Henry when he met his future wife Yasmin at a church. Sadly, his weight halted them from being able to have a wedding.
If I ever get to that point where I'm not going to bathe, then that's me saying I give up. But I refuse to ask my mom to help me in the bathroom. So as embarrassing as it is,
Travis needs my help to stay clean. It's a lot on me, and it bothers him.
I was 25 years old and almost 500 pounds now, and I had no one.
Unfortunately, Yasmin became something of an enabler alongside her own mother, who frequently cooked for him. Frustrated by this and many other sacrifices Yasmin had to make for him, Henry made the choice to take on a serious weight loss plan with the help of Dr. Now. Despite some hiccups, Henry ultimately stuck to the objective and got approved for weight loss surgery. After 10 months working with the good doctor, Travis had lost over 200 pounds. By month 11, he was back in the 300s, coming in at just a tick below 396 pounds. He had begun dealing with some of the emotional issues related to his food cravings, which was helping immensely, and Travis also began celebrating his newfound mobility by getting out and about with Yasmin. The episode ended with the couple going to a movie together for the first time in over 7 years.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
How y'all doing?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, because you want to lose some weight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I need to lose the weight.
So this is a very dangerous situation, and you need to make the changes now. And Yasmin, you need to work on changing your dynamic with Travis to where you're willing to have the argument.
Travis Henry had some major hurdles to conquer, but at the end of the day, he kept his mind focused on the end goal. Henry was upfront about his mistakes and didn't make any excuses that would halt his journey. These traits ultimately aided in Henry's success during and after My 600 Pound Life, but they're also what has gotten numerous individuals to cheer him on. Number 2. Robin and Garrett. Robin McKinley and her nephew Garrett Rogers had an inspirational weight loss journey, and it's time to explore where they are in 2023. At the beginning of their My 600 Pound Life episode, which aired back in 2019, Robin was 40 years old and 648 pounds, whereas Garrett was 20 years old and 607 pounds. Robin decided to seek help from Dr. Now. Her brother Chris, who was Garrett's father and also severely overweight, was supposed to be Dr. Now's patient as well. However, he suffered a heart attack that left him too weak to make the trip from their home state of Kansas to Houston, Texas to see him. Garrett decided to take his place, and he, Robin, and her husband James went to see Dr. Now. Robin and Garrett worked hard to follow Dr. Now's diet and exercise program. Although it was difficult for Robin because she had bad knees, she pushed herself to try. Garrett was also determined to lose his weight, although he was preoccupied with moving back home to help take care of his father. After their weight loss surgery, Robin had lost 254 pounds and weighed 395 pounds. Garrett lost 270 pounds and weighed 337 pounds. The outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic upset everything. From its outbreak, Garrett had moved back home to Kansas to be with his father. When Robin and James heard that COVID-19 would cause a shutdown, they also headed back to Kansas to be with their family. Almost 2 years had passed before their next appointment with Dr. Now. However, they were able to continue to lose weight even without checking in with him in person. When they returned to Dr. Now's office, Robin had lost a total of 400 pounds and weighed 248 pounds, whereas Garrett had lost 354 pounds and weighed 253 pounds. Robin and Garrett had one of the most amazing journeys in the history of the show. They were not only able to reach their weight loss goals and keep the weight off at first, but they did it through the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Now was concerned at first that returning to the environment where they gained the weight in the first place could be a problem, but they didn't allow it to stop them. They're one of my 600-pound life's most inspirational success stories. Number 1, V&A and Alan. Season 7 alums V&A and Alan were very memorable on the show. As a duo, they embarked on weight loss journeys with the help of Dr. Now. While the process wasn't easy, they managed to get superb results. When we first met the married couple, they admitted that food is what keeps us going.
What happened to 600-pound Alan? What happened to the Alan in Chicago?
He gone. I don't want to make more progress than she does. I don't like it because I want her to do this with me.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm also struggling with being jealous of Alan and all the progress he's making.
In many ways, they were made for each other. That's what Alan, 51, said of his relationship with V&A, 35. Both developed unhealthy eating habits due to their childhood traumas. V&A had a terrible rapport with food because of the way she was body-shamed by her late mother. Both struggled with mobility and couldn't even sleep in the same bed anymore because they were too big for it. Meanwhile, V&A was practically bedbound and ashamed that Alan had to do everything for her. In other words, these two were perfect candidates for Dr. Now's tough love.
But I'm gonna change my life no matter what. But it's troubling me because the life I want to have is with her.
And were ready for their lives to be massively changed for the better. V&A and Alan's body makeover began in Houston, Texas. They went there so that Dr. Now could assist them with losing weight. The couple had to adjust to eating only 1,200 calories per day, and that must have been very rough for them. On this diet, there were meals only, as snacking was prohibited. There was also an emphasis on lean proteins and veggies.
I'm jealous because you eat
Well, you got
like one hot dog and you're full. That and surgery, I'm afraid of going under again because of what happened last time.
With carbs being mostly outlawed, this approach was extremely effective. At the outset, Alan weighed 648 pounds, while V&A weighed 594 pounds. When their journey on the show was complete, they were dramatically thinner. Alan ended up at 376 pounds, while V&A lost 226 pounds. The couple had been considered codependent on each other as they dealt with hard times, and both came out as winners. Both qualified for bariatric surgeries, which kick-started their weight loss journey. However, V&A had a setback when her heart stopped beating while the renowned bariatric surgeon was preparing to operate. The procedure needed to be cancelled, but she survived nonetheless. Later on, when her weight dropped to 350 pounds, she was cleared to try again. During the next operation, there weren't any complications.
So things aren't going so well, but I have no choice. I have to keep pushing forward.
Like, you're not even my husband anymore. You're like this new person.
So her goal of getting that surgical procedure was finally achieved. As for Alan, his weight loss operation was successful as well. Well guys, that about does it for this video. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time.